What if I were to tell you the fragmentation problem that everyone talks about is actually a necessity in the smartphone world? Now, if you really thought about it, yes, Android's fragmentation is a weakness, but it is also a strength that no one talks about. Due to the fragmentation, we have many versions of Android out there, and because of that, we have varying price points on devices that specialize in various things. Generally, when someone talks about Android and the fragmentation between the devices, it's usually laid out as a pile of problems. Samsung, Google, Xiaomi, Nothing, OnePlus, and Motorola are just some of the names you commonly hear about in the Android world. Every manufacturer has their own flavor of Android, which has led to different experiences with updates, the UI, charging, and features depending on what version of Android you currently have. But if you really thought about it, is it really a bad thing to have different experiences on one platform? Take a look at iOS. Now, there's only one iOS, which comes with its own set of pros and cons. You're generally going to be doing things the way Apple wants you to do things. If you like iOS, you must continue buying Apple devices. If you like the iOS experience, then you must continue to buy the Apple experience, which is generally the Apple ecosystem. With Android, that problem doesn't really exist due to the fragmentation. Now, in my opinion, Android is currently the leader when it comes to innovation, and there are several versions of Android out there that specialize in something different and or operate differently, even though they all use the same base operating system. OnePlus was known as the flagship killer. They offered a ton of flagship features with some compromises, which resulted in a device that was really affordable and made you feel really good about your purchase. The Nothing smartphone seems to be carrying that torch now. Now, Nothing is a company that provides really nice smartphones for people who need a smartphone but don't necessarily need all the bells and whistles that come with a Samsung device. Now, Samsung is one of the biggest, if not the biggest, Android manufacturers, and they provide a ton of features with their devices to include an S Pen, multiple folding smartphones, and Samsung DeX, which turns your smartphone into a computer with just a USB-C cable. Google's Pixel devices are known on the market as the camera leader. Now, Apple and Samsung are catching up, but the Google Pixel is currently the cream of the crop when it comes to still photos. So if you are looking for excellent still photos and the pure Android experience, the Google Pixel is the correct device for you. You see where we're getting at, right? You have options due to the fragmentation. Yes, there are devices out there that cost right about $2,000 US, but there's also devices that cost a little under $200 US as well. It's all about what you need in a smartphone. Google's fragmentation problem becomes a strength because it provides variety. You are not stuck with only two versions of a smartphone. You actually have options, and you can go out there and pick which smartphone best suits you. Imagine if we only had one version of iOS and one version of Android. The smartphone market would be pretty stale. I mean, in layman's terms, it would probably suck.